High bush cranberry, the one of the main reasons why you're going to want to make sure that you have high bush cranberry a part of your tea cupboard, one of the main reasons why you're going to want to have it here is because is what one of its common names is sort of hinting at. It's really good to stop cramps. A lot of people will call it just cramp bark. A lot of people only remember it as cramp bark. And so that's the main reason why you're going to want to have it there. Anytime you have muscle cramps, if you're prone to having muscle cramps or your whole leg just cramps right up. I remember we were visiting one guy, we were visiting one of our buddies, and he was, his face just changed, and we were like, what's happening? And then he just fell on the floor, and then he was like just screaming and crying, and then it would stop, like as if he was going unconscious. Like we weren't even watching his, like we couldn't see his face, so we didn't know if he was going unconscious or whatever. But he kept stopping and coming back, and then but his leg was cramping so bad that he was in a lot of pain. He was crying a little, but it was real intense. And I thought, oh man, this guy needs some high bush cranberry. So we gave him a whole bunch. We actually went out right away and picked a whole bunch and gave it to him, and it really, really helped to stop. But so you could think of muscle cramps when your whole muscle spasms and it's totally losing it. But also like other muscle cramps, like when your arm is just twitching, or if you have tetany, if your eye is twitching and you have muscle cramps here, then high bush cranberry bark is what you need to be able to stop that. Also, bronchial tubes, when bronchial tubes are spasming and they're cramping and freaking out, and you know, one of the consequences of bronchial spasms, like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and asthma as well, is like half bronchial tube spasms and half inflammation. And so you could get rid of half of the asthma problem by having high bush cranberry bark and stopping those spasms. But the main focus, the main use, the main utility of high bush cranberry is to help stop uterine cramps. So dysmenorrhea, when you have painful cramps, it's going to help to stop that. And so that's one of the main reasons why you have to have, why everybody has to have high bush cranberry bark. But I want to be able to explain to you exactly what the mechanism is, exactly what high bush cranberry bark is doing. So what it's doing is in order to understand what it's doing, you have to understand stress. And so whenever you get stressed out, like if you have to run from a bear, if a bear is running at you and you have to escape, you're going to have a stress response. You're going to have hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. They're going to tell your liver to give you all of the sugar that you need to be able to fight the bear or run from the bear. And the other things, that's one of the main things that adrenaline and cortisol are going to do. So you have all of the energy you need to fight the bear or run from the bear, but also those hormones are going to tell your they're going to change your kidneys. They're going to change your kidneys. One of the things that they change, so you know how in your body you have your blood vessels, and imagine you have your blood vessels. When sodium touches your blood vessel, it constricts and you have high blood pressure. When calcium touches your blood vessels, they constrict and you have high blood pressure. Everything sodium and calcium touch, they excite, they constrict, and the opposite of that is magnesium. Everything magnesium touches, it relaxes. Everything magnesium touches, it dilates and it calms down. And so if you're stressed and if you're running from a bear, one of the things that your body has to do is your kidneys will grab all of the magnesium and dump it, because you got to run from a bear. You can't have magnesium floating all over in your body, calming everything down, and everything being real chill. No, you have to run from a bear. So get rid of all of that magnesium, and so you could get out of that stressful situation. And so this is why too, like it's so colloquial, our understanding of this, because you could, when somebody gets mad in a cartoon, somebody gets stressful and mad, you'll see their eyes start to twitch, and it's like this thing. Ugh! But that's what it's talking about, is that magnesium dump. You don't have magnesium calming down muscles and relaxing them. What you have is too much calcium, too much sodium that's touching all of your muscles and exciting them, and so then they start to spasm. And so you could see remnants or evidence of this even in cartoons that we watch. This is how we all understand this. But anyway, one cool thing about high bush cranberry is that it just changes your kidneys so that they keep magnesium. So your kidneys aren't dumping magnesium anymore. And there's like 28 different types of magnesium that your body needs and uses on a regular basis. And the change that high bush cranberry does to your kidneys gives it the ability to keep all of those, keep every one of those types of magnesium in your body, free flowing around so that they could be absorbed versus just dumped. And so think of stress. Think of how often you're stressed out. I mean, I always give the example of stress. We wake up to an alarm. I don't care if your alarm sounds beautiful, if it sounds really nice. Any type of alarm that's waking you up when you're not supposed to wake up, is you're going to have an exaggerated stress response. It's adrenaline that wakes you up in the first place, whether you wake up naturally or not. But if you wake up by an alarm, any type of alarm, that adrenaline response is going to be massive. The kidneys switch right away to dump magnesium because you're stressed. Think of like 300 years ago when your ancestors woke up in the morning to something stressful. Like, imagine meh, 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 in the morning, for 300 years ago, they'd be freaking out. They'd be thinking like, something's gonna happen, we're gonna die, fight or flight, we have to get out of here, no more magnesium in my body. And that's the way we have to function. So right away, alarm clock in the morning, and then you have a coffee, and caffeine is gonna exaggerate every adrenaline response, every stress response that you have for like 4 or 5 hours after you have coffee. And then most of us have coffee throughout the day. But then, we'll have foods that will exaggerate our stress responses as well. But then, what we're going to do after that is we're going to go to work. And then on the way to work, we're driving 15 kilometers an hour over the speed limit. So every cop that we see, every time we see a police officer, we're going to have a stress response, and then more magnesium. And then we get to work, and then we open up our computer, and then we're reading our emails at work. And then our employer is saying things that we don't like. And so we're getting mad at our employer. And then there's employees around you doing things that you don't like. And so you're mad at them. And then you have, whatever you have for lunch. Whatever you have for lunch is probably gonna even make your stress responses for the rest of the day even worse. You're probably gonna have another coffee. You're gonna drive home past a bunch of police on the way home, and then at home you're gonna watch Young and the Restless while supper's cooking. and then you're going to be watching going on Facebook just before you go to bed, getting real mad at everybody and all this, and so everything is just stressful. We're overexposed we're completely inundated with too much stress. And so all day, every day, from the moment we wake up to the moment that we go to bed, our kidneys are dumping magnesium. We're not keeping it in our body. It's really hard for the magnesium to stay there. And so that's the problem. And medicine gives us the ability to communicate to our body to say, hey, you know what? I'm going through a lot of stress right now. I'm going to need you to take a second, listen to me, and keep all of that magnesium. Keep it inside of me. I don't want you to be getting rid of that anymore. I need that to help keep everything calm. And so you have high bush cranberry. The change happens in your kidneys. Magnesium stays in your body, and all of the real expensive magnesium supplements. If you buy high quality magnesium supplements, they're outrageously expensive. They end up being over $1. Over $1 a day, and for the most part, we are going through every single day dumping magnesium. So all of the supplements that we're paying for, we're just peeing it out. And Sheldon always says supplements just make your urine expensive, which is exactly what would happen with high bush cranberry. With stress and magnesium supplements. And so high bush cranberry gives you the ability to hang on to that magnesium, so it's able to do what it's supposed to do: calm everything down, relax everything.